Whoso pulleth out this sword from this stone and anvil is the true-born king of all Britain.
We swear by peace and love to stand, heart to heart and hand in hand. Mark, O Spirit, and hear us now, confirming this our sacred vow. We swear
by peace and love to stand, heart to heart and hand in hand.
Mark, O Spirit,
and hear us now, confirming this our sacred vow.
My name is actually Arthur Uther Pendragon. My signature is Arthur Rex, and I'm known as King Arthur. I'm the titular head of the Loyal Arthurian Warband, a member order of the Council of British Druid Orders, and I believe myself to be the reincarnation of the Celtic chieftain of the same name. I used to worry, and I used to fret at night and find it hard to go to sleep, and I'd worry about the life, the universe, everything. Now, I go to bed and I think, who are you, King Arthur? What are you here for? Reunite the Celts, fight for truth, honour and justice. No problem, straight to sleep. Works for me.
There you go, a robe fit for a king.
When do you wear these clothes?
Robes. I wear my robes a lot of the time. I used to wear them permanently, but now I just wear them for when I'm effectively on druid duties. So I'll wear them also on a number of political occasions. So basically, I'll be robed when needed. To speak the truth, to honour your spoken word, and to be just and fair in all your dealings. This is Excalibur, known also as the Sword of Britain. And as you see, it says on it, Excalibur, King Arthur. And in this case, all that glistens is in fact gold, or gold leaf anyway. That's gold leaf. And this is gilded gold pommel and hilt. And this is the tang. It's a full fighting blade, hand and a half Celtic broadsword, built by the same armourer, who also built swords for movies you may have heard of, such as Conan the Barbarian. But this is Excalibur. And by dual justification, it's the real Excalibur because King Arthur's got it, which makes me the real King Arthur because I've got Excalibur.
I'm Arthur's partner and my magical name is Calliope. For many, many years I was always up at the Stonehenge Free Festival, and from 76 onwards. In 1984, just prior to the Battle of the Beanfield, I was selling veg food up there to the travellers, to the mystics, to all the crazy lunatics that used to be up there. And Arthur, although he wasn't called Arthur at that point, rode past with his motorbike, pulled up next to my stall, and I felt the magic.
For 14 years we were stopped from being anywhere near Stonehenge. There was a 3-mile exclusion zone over a 5-day period over the summer solstice. You couldn't get anywhere near the stones.
Stone for the land, land for the people. So might it please.
I want to see it return to how it was when I was a child, and you could come here freely, and it was a few stones in the middle of Wiltshire, and it wasn't marketed aggressively abroad like it is now, and it wasn't all about money. It was about A really nice place with a really nice atmosphere, and that's how they should have left it.
Subsequently, for 14 years, I spent every summer solstice the night before in Salisbury police cells challenging the legality of the exclusion zone. Eventually, I got it heard in Strasbourg.
He came out of the court and we cheered. And I remember thinking, somebody's come to save us. Somebody's come to take this problem on. Somebody's going to open Stonehenge back up for us. And he did.
I'm also fighting through the courts against English Heritage over another matter, and that is the matter of pay to pray. As of last year, they decided in their infinite wisdom that they were going to charge pilgrims for turning up at the solstices.
This is a spiritual event. Do not pay.
Well, what's going on here is for 16 years, I've been coming here at solstices and equinoxes. I'm a druid and I've been basically following my faith, and I will not pay to pray. Because we are pagans, they think they can get away with it. As a result of that, I've got them in court on the 24th of this month, and I will be fighting them under Articles 9, 10, 11 and 14 of the European Convention of Human Rights that says I have a right to go there to worship. It also says I have a right to do that alone or in the company of others. Book in, tell the usher around there, we're in court 5 downstairs. Nobody else is asked to pay to pray. Not in a temple, not in a mosque, not in a synagogue, not in a church. And Stonehenge, basically to us, is our cathedral. A lot of us may worship at smaller places like wooded glades or smaller sites, but they're the parish churches. Stonehenge is our cathedral, and 4 times a year we go there to pray. Initially, it was a seasonal clock. It told you the time of year, and people began to worship at those times of year, the longest, the shortest, the equal days. And that made it a holy place, a reverent place. That gave it that spirituality. Places like this were built for it. But then, hey, so was Stonehenge. It's a pagan cathedral, and it is the premier temple to our religion in the United Kingdom. I've taken on the government over many things. I have won many rights. I've won the right to bear a 4-foot broadsword. I've won innumerable rights for the pagans and druids in these lands.
We lost the court case. Arthur likes to very strongly believe in the judiciary. I'm extremely sort of like conspiracy minded, and I didn't like the judge. I don't think he listened to what the actual argument was about, which was the human rights of stopping so many people worshipping at some solstice through charging them to the car park. So be it, we fight on.
Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, what were they? A light cavalry unit. What would that be in modern times? I'll tell you what it would be, because I was leading one. It was a motorcycle club, an outlaw motorcycle club, because they're iron steeds and this is the 21st century. I don't actually know how many people are in my order because I don't play the numbers game, but I do know it's thousands rather than hundreds. And according to some, Professor Ronald Hutton, for instance, mine is one of the biggest druid orders in the world. I'm what's called an impecunious mendicant. Basically means I'm reliant on the charity of my faith community to sustain me, which effectively makes me a beggar. So, but I don't sign on, I don't claim any state benefit, I don't have any money in any other way. So if you want to donate.
I've been a friend of King Arthur. King Arthur is a Pendragon since the mid-90s. There's a lot of people that, you know, sort of bicker about Arthur and say stuff about him and online and he's got a hard job there because he carries on, you know, despite what anybody thinks of him or what he says, and that's one thing I really respect about him. Arthur gets the job done. Arthur is out there doing what he can to look after Britain in its hour of greatest need. And this is a song that I wrote about Arthur called King Arthur's Coming. King Arthur's coming, yes he is. King Arthur's coming. I say the King Arthur's coming. Arthur, Uther Pendragon's coming. King Arthur's coming as the prophecies foretold. Well, King Arthur's coming with his sword so bright.
I might not have won the court case, but I tell you what, I'm going to take advantage of Theresa May's snap election and I'm going to run for Salisbury. When you see how messed up politics are at the moment with some of the idiotic leaders around the world, so why should it surprise us that Arthur and his guys are back? I don't like anything that's on offer, so I'm getting out there and saying, hey, I'm going to do it myself. There's no one to vote for. That's why I stand, so I can vote for myself. My name's Arthur Pendragon, commonly known as King Arthur, and I'm an independent candidate. Do we all know what independent means? It means, to me, by, for and of the people, as opposed to by, for and of the party, like everybody else up here. I do not like any of the Tory policies. I think his party sucks. Only an independent can back a good idea, whoever comes up with it, and can oppose a bad one, whichever side of the house it comes from. Thank you for listening.
This is the real problem with independents, is if you vote for an independent, they get to be the judge and jury on which policies they want. And so you don't get a say, because you don't get to see a manifesto, and you just have to base it on a week or two of an odd leaflet with the most sketchy of biographical details and the odd hustings that you may attend. And that's why people don't vote for independence.
The reason I run is because part of my sacred and imperial oath as a senior druid is to fight corruption in high places, no matter what the cost. And that I take to relate to the fact that it does cost, and it does. It costs £500 every time you enter an election, and you don't get that back unless you get 5% of the vote. And so far, well, put it this way, I've never had a member deposit back yet. But who knows, there could always be a first time.
And it doesn't stop there. We go to even better defending services. The time to do this work, it's responsible work and tiring. You've got to get open each one, verify each one, make a mistake.
Corbyn, Tom, Labour Party, 13,619. Glenn, John, Philip, the Conservative Party candidate, 30,952. Pendragon, King Arthur, Independent, 415.
Thank you. Can we please have at least 5 years of government, whoever's doing it, and not call another election so fast so I can get the money together? Thank you. considering how polarised it was between Labour and Tory, I'm surprised I managed to hang on to as many votes as I did, but it weren't so bad. I hung on to 412 people who wanted me as their Member of Parliament. I mean, strange thing is, if I ever get elected, I'll have to work for a living. I don't think I'm up for that.
On this side of the fence because I don't believe that it is legal to charge us parking charges to come and worship at Stonehenge. Last year we were expecting 24,000 and we got 12,000 because half of the people didn't turn up because of the parking charges and because of the ban on alcohol. I'm not giving up, that's for sure. And I'm certainly not going to pay to pray. I mean, the judge said, well, it wasn't, he ruled with them and they said, it was just parking charges. But the fact is, I mean, you know as well as I do, a list that long of all the droves around here that they closed off and close off, like they closed off last night, you can't park anywhere unless you pay them money. So however they dress it up, it's an entrance fee. Three cheers for Salford, everybody, eh?
We got cider on this side.
We got cider on this side.
Yeah.
We got no restrictions. We are the free druids.
King Arthur's coming. Yeah, King Arthur's coming. Arthur, Uther, Pendragon's coming. I said that King Arthur's coming. King Arthur's coming. King Arthur's coming with Excalibur, his sword.